everyone! I just came back from Paris and I have something very exciting to share with you guys. Alright, so as you can tell from the title, I did score something in Paris. It was very unexpected. I'm going to share the unboxing, I'm going to share the story of how I got it, and some tips that's going to hopefully help everyone that wants to score a bag in Paris as well. Okay, so this is a true unboxing since I haven't opened this bag yet. So we can just open it all together and see what I got. Color Blue Nuit with gold hardware and in Togo leather. So this is just so beautiful and it's adorable. I'll put some close-up shots as well of the bag and some modeling shots. But this is just so stunning and I wasn't expecting this bag at all.
So here is the 360-degree view of the bag and you can really see how nice the Togo leather is. And of course it comes with 4 little feet on the bottom of the bag, and I like to pull out the flaps on the side just to make the bag look a little bit bigger, the shape a little bit more interesting, and it just looks a little bit less toy-like. Here's the bag on me. Luckily I've got really thin wrists, so the tiny little handle drop on the Birkin actually goes up onto my arms instead of it being a handheld bag.
Inside the bag there's the clochette and the key, which you can use to kind of dangle on here, which I don't think I'm going to use just because I don't want the metal to be scratching up against the leather. Okay, so now I want to talk about the appointment system, the story of how I got the bag, and my entire experience at Hermes in Paris. So let's start with the appointment system. So now in Paris, if you want to buy any sort of bags, not just a Birkin, Kelly, or a Constance, you will have to apply for an appointment on their online system the day before. I think for Christmas now they're open on Sundays too, so you can apply on Saturday for Sunday. So I mean, we are only in Paris for about 5 days or so, and the day before we left, I actually couldn't really apply for the appointment online. I picked FSH as my store of choice just because I heard that, you know, they have better stock. And then I couldn't get an appointment because I couldn't receive any email or any text message notifications for the verification code. So when we arrived in Paris, my husband did apply, but he didn't get the appointment, but I wasn't even able to apply at all. So let's talk about FSH first. So through the appointment system, we only applied, I think he applied 3 times or 4 times, and I applied only 3 times because we were going to be in Lyon on Thursday, so there was no point. And one thing about the FSH system was the day after we arrived in Paris, we went to the Faubourg Saint-Honoré store and we actually bought a little homeware. So I'll show you guys all the things that I bought through this trip as well in the next video if you're interested in that. So FSH was really packed and there was just people everywhere. It just felt like a zoo or like a discount mart or something. It wasn't very enjoyable. There was no essays available to help you. Nobody didn't even approach me really. When I was upstairs browsing, there was a really nice lady that said hi to me. So then I went to find her to buy the home good, and she said that the stock was really low at FSH. They didn't really have anything, but she would check for me. So then she ended up having the homeware that I was looking for, and I purchased it, and I actually made an account because I didn't have an FSH store account before. So I think the account with some sort of purchase history with FSH will help get an appointment, because I didn't apply the day after, but the next time that I did apply for FSH, I actually got an appointment on the 3rd try. So I think it's definitely worthwhile if you don't have any purchase history in FSH to buy something prior to, you know, your trip in Paris. You have the maximum chance of getting an appointment at FSH. So this bag was actually not from FSH, this was actually from Sevre. And you know, the FSH experience, even when I went for my appointment, which is on the last day of Paris, it was at 6:20, and the time just kept moving back and forth throughout the closer to the time. It was like 5:20 and 6. So then we already got this bag, so we didn't really care about the appointment as much. But when we went for the FSH appointment, So they actually directed us upstairs, and then a lady came and she said, you know, what are you looking for? And then I actually really wanted a Lindy 26 in gold with gold hardware on the strip. That was actually the bag that I was looking for. And I said that, and then she was like, okay, we could check. And then I said, you know, maybe a Birkin or a Kelly or something like that. And then she says, no Birkins, no Kellys, there's nothing. And I was like, oh, okay, well then. And then she went up to check the stock, and she brought back a Lindy 26, I think it was in a tube with palladium hardware. And I tried it on, and I just really wanted a gold on gold, so I just declined it. But we already had this bag, so I was more than happy. But I just wanted to give it a shot and just kind of get my chance at the FSH experience, just to see what it was like. And honestly, it wasn't that great. So maybe we didn't build good rapport, but regardless, you know, FSH just wasn't the store for us. So as for this bag though, so how I got this bag, I did have an essay in Paris in the Sevre store that I bought stuff with last time I was in Paris in 2019. And I purchased a belt, and I was offered a Kelly as well. So this time around, it's been 2 years. You know, I did email him prior to my trip, and he actually did email me back, you know, a couple weeks after, saying that he'd be happy to host us, which is great. So then I asked if we required an appointment, because I thought, you know, all leather goods, you need an appointment with a leather specialist. And then he didn't really reply. The day before Paris, I emailed him again and I said, hey, do we need an appointment, or is it a walk-in? I'm excited to see you. And then he replied saying, because I did mention that I wanted a Lindy 26, if you could keep an eye out for that for me. And he actually said in the email, nothing's guaranteed, right? But you can try with the winky face. And then he said, just give me your passport number and then I can see you at 3 p.m. So I was like, okay, cool. So this was on the Tuesday. So we arrived on Monday, and Tuesday was when we went to FSH and we went to Sevre for the appointment. And when we got to Sevre is a beautiful store. It's all newly renovated. And there's this really cute snowman motif all the way around, and it's just a really nice store. It's more spacious than FSH. All the essays I find are a lot nicer as well. So my essay, I met him and I proceeded to kind of tell him the things that I was looking for. You know, I wanted some shoes, and then maybe like the Bella scrunchie and some of the other stuff. And then we went around trying on shoes. The stock is just really low all across Paris. A lot of the shoes are sold out in the most popular sizes, and the stock is low because apparently France shipped all their stuff to the other countries that opened up, not expecting that they would open up as well. So for this Christmas, their stock is supposed to be really low. And then after we tried on the shoes, we had to place orders through their friend's website. There was only one pair left in each of the shoes that I wanted. And then after that, he said, is there anything else you want? And then I told him I'm interested in the Lindy 26 gold on gold. And then he's like, I could check for you, but you know, I did check before you came in, and we don't have any Lindys in that specification, but there's other colors if you're interested. And then I said, oh, I'm just looking specifically for a Lindy 26, or if there's like a Birkin 25, you know, preferably in a rose gold hardware, black, Eton, Blue Nuit, or gold on gold. And he's like, I would check. So he goes to the back and he comes back with a box, and then he says, please follow me. And then, you know, your heart starts racing and you're like, what could it be? The box did look a little bit big, so I was like, I don't know what this bag is gonna be. So then we go to the little small change room on the side, and then he opens up the box, and of course I'm very nervous, and he pulls out this, it's this Lindy in a, almost like in a taupe color, in this special leather that's seasonal. I'll insert a picture on the side, and it's in Evercolor leather. So a little bit disappointed, tried on the bag. I really only want the Lindy in the gold. So then I said, I don't think this is a good fit, but thank you. And he said, okay, we also have Lindys in caramel color if you're interested. And then I said, oh, you know, we could try it because that does sound like it's similar to gold. So he went back and he brought back the caramel color. It's a little bit more yellow tone than I thought, so politely declined again, thanked him again. And then I was like, hey, if we're still in Paris for another 3 days, if there's anything that comes up, can you just let us know? So he said, we can book an appointment for Friday at 10:30 or 11 or whatever time, and then you can come in and we can try on the shoes that's ordered from the website. Apparently it takes 2 days to ship to the store, and then we'll go from there. And I said, okay, we thanked him, and then we went on about our day. And then on Friday, when we came back to Sevre, we had a little bit of small talk. We tried on the shoes. I love 2 of them, so I told him we would take it. And then I also wanted to look at Petite H as well. So he went up to the Petite H area and he showed me all the special, things they had in store. I picked up something from Petite H as well. And then he's said to me, you're also interested in bags, right? And I was like, yes. And then he was like, okay, let's go downstairs and see. So then we go downstairs again in the leather department. He sits us down on a little stool and a little table and he says, so what are you looking for? He said, there's no Lindy's for sure. I checked the stock. There's nothing coming like this week. And so the Lindy is going to be a hard no. There's not going to be a gold on gold. And then he said, so what are you looking for then? And then I said a Birkin 25, preferably in rose gold or gold hardware, black, Blue Nuit, Eton, gold, but I'm open to neutrals as well. And then he said, okay, he writes it down. He says, what leather do you want? And I said, oh, well, preferably Togo, because I don't own anything from Togo, but it's my favorite for a Birkin. And he says, okay. And then he leaves. And then we're sitting there again, biting our nails and sweating. And then he comes back shortly after. He says, okay, follow me. And he has 2 boxes. So one of the boxes was this, and then there's another box on top. Go back into the small room again, sweating again, heart beating super fast. And then he says, I think you're gonna like this. It's a Birkin 25. And then, Jordan Van Peele, all the sweat's just coming down and just super, super nervous. So nervous I forgot to film. And then he pulls out this bag, and he pulls out this bag and says, it's a Blue Nuit Birkin 25 gold hardware with Togo. And then, I was just flabbergasted. I was so happy because I never expected to be able to get a Birkin 25 in Paris. Of course, it'd be nice to get one, but I thought the chances were going to be really slim because of the stock. This just absolutely exceeded my expectations. And then the second box that he had was a Furby, the little insert for the bags, and I politely declined for that because I was going to get the 7RP one instead. I went upstairs and then we checked on the twillies and we picked out a twilly for this bag, and that was it. So one thing that I did forget to mention was on the first day when we were asking about the stock of how the bags were, and I asked about the Birkin as well when I asked for the Lindy, and he says, only 5 Birkins came in today and they were all sold out. So apparently for the appointment system, there's only 150 appointments available a day for all 3 of the stores. And there's about 3,500 people that apply for it normally and 6,500 people in the Christmas time. So it's a really hard chance of getting an appointment, but I thought that you needed an appointment to be able to purchase bags in any of the 3 stores. But I don't know if he made an exception for me or we kind of bypassed that, or I'm not sure how that worked. So another thing I wanted to note was that my purchases, the pre-spend, it wasn't a lot at all. I think I probably spent about 1,800 euros on the pre-spend. So it wasn't really a lot. So my tips for how to help you maybe score a bag in Paris is, of course, number 1, buy something even if it's little at FSH. I think it really helps your chances of scoring an appointment there. Number 2 is if you do have a prior essay that you work with in Paris, I think it would help you a lot. I think it's going to be really hard for new people that are coming in that are just starting out and building a history, but nothing is impossible, right? And the third tip is, of course, be nice, be thoughtful, just they're people too. So just don't be demanding, just be courteous. And last time when I did need my essay, I just kind of jotted down a couple of the things that he said about himself, like what he liked to do. And then this time I just kind of referred to a couple of them.
Tip number 4 is to try your luck at Sevre instead of FSH store. It's a lot less daunting and a more approachable environment. You can build more of a relationship since the essays are trained in all departments versus FSH where each essay has a department assigned to them and you need a leather essay for bags. Sevre essays are also very knowledgeable and possibly nicer as well. And my essay mentioned that they don't get commission on what they sell.
And then where are we at? So number 5 is it definitely helps to have some knowledge of Hermes, right? So you know their leathers, their colors, their bags, and not just asking for, Birkin and Kelly and not knowing anything else, because of course they want to sell to someone that loves the brand and doesn't just love them for the Birkins and the Kellys. And number 6 is it definitely, I think it would help if you brought an Hermes bag to Paris or to the appointments if you did have one. I just really didn't want to go through the hassle of bringing my Kelly or my Constance there, because with traveling, I just want a better peace of mind if I just had a bag that I didn't like baby so much or care about something went wrong. So I didn't do that, but I think it does help. From the other stories I've heard, I think if you do carry an Hermes bag, your chances are a little bit higher. Or even just wearing Hermes accessories or things that you own and things you love, things you can talk about. I think that definitely helps. It just shows brand knowledge and brand admiration and not just for the bags. All right, and tip number 7 is to just show that you want other things, right? Hopefully there's other things that interest you in Hermes, just kind of bring them up and mention them and try those on and mention the other things you're looking for before you mention what bags you're looking for. So I think they're so primed to just say no the moment they're just asked, is there a Birkin or a Kelly? So don't ask for the bag right away, but instead kind of go through the process all around the store. They have a lot of beautiful things before you ask for, the bags. Tip number 8 is, so there's actually at the Sevre store, they actually have sample bags. So like Birkin 25, Birkin 30, Kelly 25, Kelly 28, 30. So you can actually try them on. So you can know which size or which style you like. There's Cellier and there's Retourné for the Kellys. And that was really helpful because I was like, I don't even know if I would like a Birkin 25 because I've never actually seen one. So he actually brought all the samples out and then I was trying them on. I was like, oh my gosh, the Birkin 25 actually fits me really well because I am more petite and I have really, really small wrists. So it actually goes quite far and it's not just a handbag. And then he said, oh, you can even unload all of the stuff that you have in your Chanel bag into the Birkin just to try on how much it's gonna fit. And I said, oh no, that's okay. Like I know I like the bag, but I don't wanna get my hopes up. It's not like I'm gonna even be offered a Birkin 25 anyway. And he didn't really say anything there. So, I mean, it'd be good to kind of know what bag you like and try it on to just make sure that you like it. Where are we at? So tip number 9 is to just dress well in general. I know my FSH essay, when I went up for the appointment, she gave me a quick look down, up and down, before she took me up. So I don't think I passed her test there, but I think they want to see someone, presenting themselves well, which I think is important, anywhere you're trying to make a good impression. I don't think it needs to be like designer or anything, as long as, you do carry yourself with some grace and you're styled fairly decently. I think it would help, right? Tip number 10, which is important to know, I think Europe, it's not as much about the pre-spin. I think it's more about the connection that you build with your essay. If you guys bond on something, if they like you as a person, if you're nice, because obviously I only spent like 500 euros when I got my Kelly, and then I spent like 1,800 euros before I got my Birkin. So I don't think it's a spend, it's just showing that you love the brand and you're nice people. And I have also, I guess, 11 and 12. We can just call them bonus tips, but just don't be afraid to say no to what you don't like. I think that's important. So they'll bring out things, probably initially the things that are not as desirable, but if you don't like them, don't get it, right? Don't think you're gonna upset them, because at the end of the day, you're buying it for yourself and you're buying it to keep. And why buy something that you don't like when there might be something better out there, right? Because they need to know what your preferences are as well. Of course, if it's your last day in Paris and they say there's nothing else and they give you something, then it's up to you if you want to take it or not. But if it's earlier on, I think you have more leeway to say no if you do feel like it's not a good fit for you. And the last bonus tip, which I think is the most important, is to just have the right mindset. So I think now going to Paris, you know, in the pandemic, it's not ideal, of course, but it's just a blessing to be even able to go to Paris and to even have a trip there, not excluding anything Hermes or shopping related. And all I wanted the entire trip was just to be able to go there, have a good time, you know, be safe and come back safely. So that was my only expectation. So when I went in, like when I came to Paris, in my head, I already said, the best case scenario, I can get a bag, but a good scenario as well is if we just make it back there and then go back home to Canada safely without, you know, COVID and without any border hassles. So just making sure that you're framing it in the right perspective, I think will help keep you sane as well, lower your expectations, and just not come off as too desperate or too pushy as well. I know everybody wants a bag when they're in Paris. It's the perfect souvenir. It's a great place. It's a lot cheaper than US or Canada. But just know that if you don't get a bag, it's not the end of the world. I actually really wanted a Lindy, but of course Birkin is, I'm not complaining, right? This is even better. And in Canada, I would have probably had to wait like 2 years, pre-spent maybe like double or whatever. But I'm grateful, but I think just being in the right mindset definitely helps as well. All right, if you guys want to check out what I got to get this bag from Hermes, then definitely check out my next video. I have some really unique and beautiful things to share with you guys. And also, I want to talk a little bit about my Moynat special order experience. So definitely check out my next video if you're interested in that, and hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and listening to this long rant, and I hope everybody gets their dream bag in Paris. Till next time, bye!